Finance committee will probably be the end of the month.
Okay, because I wanna have someone, while our broker come in and give a presentation on, or an update, not a presentation on health benefits for
Sure.
both board event and for the city, so you can see where we are this year as opposed to last year,
Okay, sounds good.
the last 3 years.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I don't wanna say, see, I told you so. I'm not even gonna be
I
here.
could never imagine you
You don't
doing
want
that.
You would never say
Not
that.
even gonna be here.
You won't even say it.
All right, Mr. Bloom, you're up.
Put your, mic on.
This is our conscience here, just in case anybody didn't know.
Hello, everyone. I guess we're going to skip the roll call again.
Yes. I'm glad to see you're paying attention.
So, I understand we have the north and the south Constitution Boulevard. And I see here there's a grant from the state for an extension. Is it going to make it longer or wider? And which one, north or south?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you because you're obviously not paying attention, because this has been around for 25 years.
Okay. Of course, Riverview Park still needs to be paved, the road down there. And I hope we'll get it done this year. Also, I see Ivy Brook Greenway is still for sale. I was wondering if you're all going to turn it into a park or an open space or. Right? School bus, yes, the drop off. All right, you're going to install cameras in the school buses, I understand. The state's paying for that. School buses are a great source of road rage. Anyone who gets stuck behind them knows this. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I got stuck behind one who dropped off a student, drove 1 block, dropped off 2 students, drove 1 more block, stopped and dropped off another student, and then stopped at a block away to do the same thing. What really should be done is have drop-off locations near these students' homes that are within walking distance. Since when I went to school, I never took a school bus and I always walked. May even want to install a bike rack down there in case they have to drive home on their bicycle. Just suggestions. Oh, we have a new frauditor. He's 16 years old. He got arrested on his first fraud in, of course, a library. Now, you know how we always get these flyers from politicians who want to be elected and reelected? We have the special election coming up in a week or two. And they never list things they intend to do that Connecticut really needs. For example, in the past 2 years, Connecticut has released 1,153 illegal aliens from our prisons and jails and sent them back out onto the street. We refuse to honor ICE detainers' requests. This is something that Connecticut is in need of. Jacksonville, Florida has just passed what they call the Illegal Immigration Enforcement Act, number 2025-0147, that requires the local law enforcement to work closely with ICE. I would like to see Connecticut do the same thing. Better yet, Shelton do the same thing. So I'll leave you all with a chuckle. A policeman is walking his beat one day, and he comes upon these two men fighting, and a young boy standing nearby crying, "Daddy, Daddy." The policeman separates the two men and asks the young lad which one is his father, who replies, "I don't know. That's what they're fighting about." Thank you.
All right, anybody else wishing to address the board?
Let's give him a thumbs up, that's a big jerk.
I'm not giving them anything but criticism, so. Okay, we'll move on to the regular scheduled agenda. There's no add-ons tonight?
Nope.
Okay, so minutes
Yeah,
for,
8.6.
Yeah, there's.
Your change?
well, it's on here already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on, so it's listed.
It doesn't have to be heavy.
Okay, item minutes for approval, item 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. These are minutes from the Board of Aldermen regular meeting in March, special informational meeting on the bus, March 25th, and the public hearing on ordinance, March 25th.
Move to waive the reading and approve approve the minutes as noted.
Second.
Dates as noted.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so item 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3, there are no items for Finance Committee, Public Health and Safety, and Street Committee. Nothing from me at this point.
I think, I just wanted to call the attention. I think I did this before, stop me if I did, but the sesquicentennial celebration is noting its first act on April 18th. They were putting in the State House 2 candles and a copy of the Declaration of Independence. And they're asked to do the same in the city and the libraries. And I've got some candles, and I just don't have a good rendition of the Declaration of Independence, but we'll put them out in the front here. And they ask us to do this so to build recognition and let people know that it's coming up in 2000.
So who is doing this, John?
The state has appointed a committee. I don't know, that committee hasn't notified us. I got the notification through the American Legion's magazine, and we have an article that explains the whole thing.
Okay,
I'll bring them in so somebody can put them up.
yeah, bring them in and give them to the clerk so she can distribute them to board members.
Okay.
And we'll leave some flyers out in front
Yep.
on the desk like we do with other information that we leave for the public.
All right.
All right, item 6 is legislative hold. Item 6.1A is the proposed ordinance, school bus stop arm program and enforcement.
Move to approve the proposed ordinance, school bus stop arm program and enforcement, which is included by reference. Further, move that this ordinance be published in summary form with a full copy available for review in the office of the city town clerk.
Second. Okay.
Public hearing was held on March 25th. Second,
Motion is made.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Item number 7, there's no items from financial business old. Item 8 is financial business new. We have 8.1 is April statutory refunds.
move that the report of tax collector relative to the refund of taxes for a total amount of $8,177.07 be approved, and that the finance director be directed to make payments in accordance with the certified list received from the tax collector with funds to come from the statutory refunds account. So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Pretty boilerplate.
Yep.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.2 is the emergency management performance grant.
Move to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Shelton Board of Aldermen may enter into with and deliver to the State of Connecticut Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, and any all documents which it deems to be necessary or appropriate. And further resolved that Mayor Mark A. Loretti, as mayor of the city of Shelton, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents on behalf of the city of Shelton, and to do and perform all acts and things which he deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded.
This is boilerplate. We do it every year.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.3 is funding for the White Hills Firehouse kitchen renovation.
Move to add the lower kitchen renovations at the White Hills Firehouse to the capital improvement plan with funding in an amount of $9,716.99 to come from LoSiP. So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.4 is the funding for the replacement of the wall at Huntington Firehouse.
And move to appropriate an amount of $5,010.66 for the replacement of a block wall at Huntington Firehouse with funding to come from contingency general account. So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Discussion.
Not my firehouse.
He put in an amount of 5,000, and that's just for the purchase of the block. And I think he may have left himself short. So I would recommend that we add a couple $1,000s more for miscellaneous things that may or may not be needed. It's the wall, it's the driveway coming off of Huntington Street that takes you up to the firehouse. It is pretty, we did that a few years back. I can't remember, but I guess with all the salt and everything, that the masonry blocks just disintegrated, or they're starting to disintegrate. So I'm thinking that there may be some landscaping that also goes along that. When you pull something apart, you just never know. So I would recommend that we modify the motion and add probably another $3,000 as a contingency.
Move to modify the motion, the amount of the motion from $5,010.66 to $7,000.
8,000.
Oh, you want three?
Yeah.
$8,010.66. So moved.
Second.
A motion is made for the amendment, but let the record reflect that anything that is unspent will revert back to where it came from. Okay, so their motion is made and seconded. We'll vote on the motion as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. No, we have to go back and vote on the original motion as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 8.5 is Constitution Boulevard Extension, state grant.
Move to approve the following resolution. Whereas at a meeting of the Connecticut Bond Commission held on June 7, 2024, pursuant to Public Act 79-607, the city of Shelton has been awarded an additional $1,600,000 towards road infrastructure and improvements for the Constitution Boulevard Extension and Commerce Park project. Whereas this award is in addition to the original award of $5 million to undertake the Constitution Boulevard Extension and Commerce Park project at a meeting of the Connecticut Bond Commission held on March 31st, 2022. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Shelton Board of Aldermen that it accepts the additional $1,600,000 award administered on behalf of the Office of Policy and Management by the Department of Economic and Community Development, and authorizes Mayor Mark A. Loretti to execute documents as may be required by the state of Connecticut or state financial assistance, if such an agreement is offered, to execute any amendments, decisions, and revisions thereto, and to act as the authorized representative of the city of Shelton.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Discussion.
Boy, I'm glad that we held our tongues when they charged us $867,000 and didn't say anything to irritate them.
Where do we stand on that? Breaking through on from Bridgeport Avenue to Council.
How much time do you have?
No, I'm just, do they have a time frame on that?
Well, we're on year 3. And I don't know, I'm kind of befuddled that it's taken this long. Of course, when you only work 1 day a week in Hartford, it's very difficult to get people.
Is it permitting?
Well, yeah, you need the permit to break the access line, and to tie into utilities in Bridgeport Avenue. And I want to say we're in the final throes, but boy, I don't know. I do have a meeting with the commissioner coming up next week that I hope to try to get this thing over the goal line. But this will not be the first meeting. I got to tell you. Never experienced anything like this in my life, but this is the sign of the times, unfortunately. And John, I thought you were going to offer a special thanks to the governor and the mayor of Shelton for almost $7 million to build this road.
It's commendable, believe me, it's commendable on part of both parties. And if you recall, when we were charged 867, I said I was disappointed because of his previous generosity to get us 5 million. And so we do want to say all kinds of nice things because we're looking for more, aren't we?
Well, we are looking for more, and part of what I'm going to do Wednesday is put that request in officially. And you should also know that we were given $2 million to do the crossing on Canal Street, the railroad crossing, and reopen that road up. That's going on 11 years. And when everybody has enough time, I'll tell you the whole story behind that. So I'm glad to still be here to say, see, I told you so.
Well done, Your Honor.
So,
Thank you.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.6 is the funding for the purchase of 2 garbage trucks.
Move per the recommendation of the finance director to waive the bidding process for the purchase of a used 2022 garbage truck for $390,000 and a used 2023 garbage truck for $382,000. Further, appropriate an amount of $772,000 for the purchase of the 2 garbage trucks, with funding to come from Alderman bonding pursuant to section 7.16 of the city charter.
Second.
Motion is made in second, and for discussion purposes, I think the motion is a little bit misleading because they're not really garbage trucks, they're the recycling vehicles. As you know, we do garbage and recyclables in 2 separate collections, and this is the automated trucks that we bought in the past. And so, we went out to bid a year and a half ago, and I think that the tab came in for a new truck for about $450,000. And as you know, some of you know, I've been a proponent of rehabbing the old stuff that we have. And so, when I instructed Public Works to research the different auctions that are out there, we came up with these 2 trucks. Both of them have warranties on the transmissions and the engines for an additional 2 and 3 years. We have all the maintenance records associated with them. I left with the clerk a packet that has pictures of them, if anyone's interested in seeing them. She made copies, huh?
Well, none of the pictures, but of the documents that back them up.
I told her to save a tree and just offer it for anyone's interest or email them, but, okay. So, looking the long and the short of it is that I think this is a pretty good deal. We're saving probably about $80,000 per vehicle. And why not? As opposed to buying something brand new. As you know, we were buying 2 new fire trucks, and that's taken 3 years to produce and to get here. and they're still not here. So maybe sometimes this fall, those trucks will be coming in. So rather than go down that road, I think this is a pretty good substitute for keeping the fleet up. I'll be back to you in a month or two, once these trucks go into service, and asking for more money to rehab a couple of our existing trucks in our fleet. And that'll really put us in pretty good shape. Look, we're employing the same concept with the garbage trucks, recycling trucks, as we did with the school buses. And sometime in the new fiscal year, we'll be talking about a purchase of a few more school buses, not 30, a few more. Because, you know, the number of buses that we have are growing. We have 60, we just picked up 8 more. Now we have 68. I mean, we're not gonna buy 60 and then another 60 and have 120 school buses when we don't need them, as an example. So, I know I got off topic a little bit, but it's all in the scheme of the big picture of how we're handling our vehicles. We've done this with the public works vehicles, with dump trucks and excavators and
Plows,
things
yeah.
like that. So, anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. All right, there are no legislative new items. We're going into executive session, but I'm not sure I know why we're doing this, why this is even on the agenda, but okay. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session
So moved.
So moved. Second.
and invite corporation counsel in. Okay,
So
all those in favor?
Aye.
Only if he wants to join.
You know, the 3 of